Hello and welcome to Daily Politics on Trust TV, where we keep you abreast with latest political developments in the country as well as bring perspectives to issues around policy and governance. I am Ayuba Ilya. In today's focus, the Independent National Electoral Commission has fixed Monday, the 12th of December 2022 to Sunday, the 22nd of January 2023 as the dates for the collection of permanent voters' cards in all the 774 local government offices of the Commission across the country. The National Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye, had earlier stated this in a statement. You will recall that the Commission had earlier resumed the distribution of the Bimodal Voters Accreditation System, BVAS machines to states in the Northeast and Southeast, which was initially halted due to the rising security concerns in those regions. Now, to give more updates on the preparedness of the Commission ahead of the 2023 general elections, we are joined by the Resident Electoral Commissioner for Federal Capital Territory, Alam Yahaya Bello. Thank you so much and welcome to Daily Politics.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ayuba. Thank you for having me here today.
Yes, all right. Well, let's start with the preparation of INEC ahead of the 2023 general elections so far. How far have we gone now, and how are things just going generally?
Thank you very much. I will take it over from where my, national, Honorable Commissioner, Mr. Festus Okoye, Chair of Information, Publicity and Voter Education, where he has stopped. I will take it over from there. The preparation has been going on a very long time. We started with opening up a portal, inviting NYC members, students in the tertiary, tertiary institutions, universities, Federal College of Education, to apply through our portal, as ad hoc staff, so that they will be able to conduct the election on our behalf. We also open up a portal for people to apply as SPOs, supervisory presiding officers, so that they too also will conduct election for us. In the next 1 week, the portal will close. And by then, we must have at least got all those who have applied and those that we are going to sort out, and call them for training so that we prepare them to conduct the election in 2023 by the grace of God. This has been done. Besides, by now, in the FCT, we have received most of the non-sensitive materials, for the election, and already batched to area. They are batched, waiting for area councils. As you know, even the BVAS, Bimodal Voter Education, model, which is now going to be used for the election, which we have been using for other off-season elections, it's a sensitive material. We have already started receiving them. We have not received our own FCT yet. We will receive them because FCT is very close to the
exactly. That's my curiosity.
So we have been, they have been paying attention to further areas so that within 24 hours we can get our own here in the
so it's
FCT.
Not
we have been reaching people, preparing them about. We conducted the CVR, Continued Voter Registration Exercise, which has now resulted into what you want to talk to me about, the collection of the PBC, without which, no citizen in this country will be allowed to vote in 2003 if he doesn't have it. So this is how far we have gone. Okay.
Well, I'm aware, just a bit of digression, I'm aware that there was a court injunction about ordering INEC to, continue with registration of registrants that are going to be voting in the 2023 election. How did that go?
Please, when you talk about something like that, about court injunction, restraining INEC, they are talking about the commission, where, the honorable chairman of the commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, and the members of the commission are domiciled. This is the headquarters of the INEC. I am the Resident Electoral Commissioner of INEC in the FCT. I will not be able to, to translate it. Besides, I'm a journalist. I'm not a lawyer. I can't even translate, a court injunction.
Yes.
So it is up to the...
Yeah, just an update.
This one, I've told you, it is domiciled in the commission. If you follow up with Mr. Percy Sekoye, the National Commissioner for, he'll be able to tell you more completely about any court injunction. Or any other national commissioner, in the state or the FCT, it is, we don't want to say something about an injunction that is not served, in the state.
Right.
These injunctions are served at the national level.
All right, then. So let's leave that alone.
Yes,
then.
please.
All right. Now, you have said in the statement, that's INEC now. I'm talking about INEC, so
FCT.
I presume you are. INEC is INEC.
Yes.
You have a time frame for the collection of PVCs, which begins from the 12th of December to 22nd of January.
Yes, 2000.
How much of time is that, really? It looks quite short. For looking at the numbers of people that have registered and all that. How are you intending to manage this time frame?
First of all, from the time frame that we have, we are going to start working in the morning, and we are going to close about 3 o'clock in the afternoons, and this includes Saturdays and Sundays. We are going to start doing this as from Monday 12th. We are going to do that in every area councils of the FCT to clear things up for you and for our own viewers, those who reside in the FCT. We have 6 area councils, and that is Abaji, Kwali, Kuje, Wagwalada, Buari, and Abuja Municipal. And each of these PBCs, anybody who is collect his, who will collect his PBC will do so at the headquarters of these area councils. We don't call them local government in Abuja. They are area councils. So these area councils, this exercise will start on Monday in each area council headquarters, except Abuja Municipal, which is AMAC. We have divided AMAC into 2 because of the largeness of Abuja Municipal. In fact, Abuja Municipal, if you look at it, is almost half, those who have registered to vote in the FCT. So they have their own office headquarters in Karu, and the exercise will start on Monday in Karu. Automatically also, we have opened a sub-office for AMAC because of the largeness of the only Abuja Municipal. We have opened an office of Abuja Municipal in our own headquarters in Olusegun Obasanjo Avenue here in FCT.
Are you talking about the Garki area?
Garki, yes, in Garki. So those who are going to check for this, their PVC, and collect them in AMAC, they will do it in 2 places.
Karu and Garki.
And Garki. Garki, that is our main office on Olusegun Obasanjo. So it will ease, to tell you, beside, when you talk about the time frame, whether we are going to achieve it, yes. Yeah.
Okay, so you talk about headquarters. Just to be clear, are you talking about the local government secretariats?
Yes.
In the area council?
Locally, that is area council, local government secretariat. Let me put it that way.
All right, because
six local government secretariats.
All right.
So in each of the local government secretariat, we are going to start this exercise on Monday, except for AMAC, where they have an outlet in our office.
At this point, there will be no collection at the ward level, or I would say
we are going to go to the ward level
where
later.
The registrations were done.
No, we'll go to the area, the ward level later.
Okay.
Not now.
So that will be when?
We will have a time frame for the collection at the ward level. So we'll give you the time frame so that people will be able to go to the ward level and collect at the...
Would that be after the 22nd of January?
No, before the 22nd.
Or before the 22nd?
Before the 22nd. When we come back, we are going to come back to the, after going to the area, to the rack, yes, that is the ward level. We are coming back again to the local government level. you know.
Okay, so it starts at the secretariat and then move to the ward and then back
Come
to
back, exactly,
All right.
and continue.
All right, so as to information as to where people will collect this, you know, some people may be confused. Some people will be thinking, okay, where I did my registration is where I should be going to pick up my card. Or perhaps maybe where I intend to vote, that's where I'm likely to go. So for instance, someone is in Abuja and he intends to vote maybe in Kaduna, and then during the registration period, where he fielding as where he's going to vote is located in Kaduna. So where would such a person pick his PVC? Will it be in Abuja or in Kaduna?
You pick it, you know, if you want to pick your card will be at where, it is the state where you are going to vote. That's where your card will be. You sort it out, but if you, whatever you do, beside, during the transfer, if you are talking about transfer, for example, you know, where you do your transfer, you can pick it from there. We'll take it to where, you know, you originally went for the exercise. When you collect the card there, it is when it is time for you to vote. Wherever you collect your card, when it is time for you to vote, you vote at the location which you chose during the continued voter registration exercise. If you choose to vote in Kaduna and you made your transfer here, if you collect your card here, you cannot vote here. Besides, we are going to make this easier all over the country. We are going to paste in each places where people registered during the continued voter registration exercise where their cards is, so that they can collect it. Even when you come to the venue where you did register, your own name and every detail will be displayed. So before you even join a queue to check whether your card is there or not, you first of all look at the register, at the display register, you know, so that you can know it is there or it's not. Besides, you know, we are also going into, as I'm talking about the FCT, we are going into partnership with CSOs, especially Yaga Africa. We have demonstrated that collection of the cards for 2019 election. We have sent a lot of SMS to people that their cards were there on the ground for them to collect. Okay. And people turn up in the locations where, you know, we asked them, you know, to report, and their cars, they collected their cars there.
Okay, so to put this to rest finally.
Yes.
Where you register, so if you register in Abuja, you
Yes.
pick your card in Abuja,
Yes.
but when it's time for election, you go to the location where you put as the place where you want to vote.
Absolutely.
Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Right.
Because you know, you come from Cross River State, and you are in Abuja, you know, and you intend to vote in Kano, and you have chosen a polling unit in Kano. It's not palatable to ask you to go to you know, you come from, you know, you come back and no, collect it here. Keep your card. It is when it is time for voting, you know which polling unit you are going to vote. It is stated there. You know the place, you know. But in order to be sure for you, you can even go to your location and see that your name is actually there, so that you'll be able to, without waiting for the election day, so that you will see you have been the citizen.
All right. All right. So there are people who, we had the youth vote count exercise,
yes.
the concert,
yes.
where a lot of young people took advantage to register, some of them core members. They're just in Abuja to serve. So they have registered. They don't stay in Amak, but they registered in this concert, at the concert venue. But some of them are living, say, maybe in Kubwa or in Abaji or Buari or some of the areas that are not necessarily Amak. Where do they pick their cards
you
from?
See, these technicalities, some of these technicalities, you know, like you know, the issue of the PVC is also a matter of technology, ICT. You know, how it is done, the portal, you know, but the issue is that the portal is made to capture all the voters, the people who have registered nationwide. You can be able to know that through your own from your card, through the portal, you'll be able to identify something like that. But like I said, let me, for example, as a layman, not an ICT, I believe that for those who have registered here, most of these people who register here, they are domiciled here. You understand? If you want to register during the registration exercise, although you can do it anywhere, but people will prepare to do it where they can collect their cars. Even when, like I said, those who have made transfers, they can collect their cars here. They can come here and collect their cars. But when it is time for voting, then it is up to them. They cannot vote here.
Okay. How prepared is the Commission for this exercise because it's a major issue. Sometimes you find so much congestion in the centers, yes. Maybe because of lack of maybe very poor or low deployment to the centers. You have maybe 1 or 2 persons attending to hundreds of people in a particular center. And then sometimes even the attitude of the staff is not really encouraging. People who are supposed to resume for this exercise, maybe at 9 a.m., some of them come at 10 or 11 a.m., and then they come maybe for 2 hours and off they go, So that's also, it's a kind of a way that, or something that disenfranchises some people. At the end of the day, you find that in one day, they were only able to give PVCs to maybe just 20 or maybe 25. And then the frustration goes on, and then people become very reluctant, to come for the collection. How do you address that?
You see, it takes more time for continued voter registration exercise for people to undergo, this exercise, for them to obtain or register to collect their own PVC. Even at then, we had enough staff, they had enough training, we have this, enough capacity to attend to so many people, even during the exercise. Besides, these cars, the PVC, the PVCs now, in FCT, we have already received them. They are in our positions. All of them are now being sorted out, waiting for Monday. So it is easy. It is easy for you to collect your PVC than to get registered. We have enough staff to do it, and we have volunteers. We have volunteers from so many CSOs, and they are also trained. In fact, we have partnership like Yaga Africa, Nest Action, and the rest. We have training, combined training with our own staff and their own volunteers. It is easier. Besides, first of all, you look at it, whether your name is there. It's not as cumbersome as when you come to register in the public, because they have been sorted out. They have been batched. If, according to polling units. So when you bring your own slip, it is as easy as ABC.
Okay.
To give. Besides, let me emphasize on this one. Mm-hmm. I counted, for example, when people were resort to rowdiness during the CVR. It took us 4 hours to control them. And when I look at them, I asked them to join the queue. They didn't. I said, we are not doing it. The next morning, when they came and joined the queue, we were able to attend to 2 times their number because of orderly. Let's we check. There is not 100% foolproof. There could be people, there could be staff, there could be ad hoc staff, there could be our staff who may not, for example, report at the appointed time. This also accounts for our own supervision. We need to do this supervision. Supervision will be done because I'll give you an example. In the 6 area councils, the 6 local governments that I'm taking to you, we have HODs, HO departments in my own office. Each one of them supervises some local governments. So we are assigning these local governments to them now, so that each morning they go around the local government and establish the fact that, this exercise has started in good time, it has finished as so. I believe, like I told you, this exercise could be very seamless, more especially when people who have come to collect these PVCs will be orderly themselves, so that they will not, the fact that the more you are disorderly, the more you make it difficult for people to be attended to.
Okay.
The more you make it difficult for staff to concentrate, no matter if they come 6 o'clock in the morning.
All right. All right, let's talk about another category of people. There are those who are registered but haven't collected their PVC, and their registration is not from this election cycle, it's from the last election cycle back in 2019, who are still yet to collect their PVCs. What happens? And they want to now get it now.
Now, I will tell you this. This is very good news for them, because we had, like I said, a partnership with Yaga Africa. You know, we have trained our staff and volunteers. We send SMS. Where, for example, people were coming, before we were so worried about 2019 cars in the FCT. When we started that program, about 3 months ago, more than 3 months ago, we sent SMS. When instead of people turning up 10 people at a time to collect their PVCs, with us making a lot of noise, making propaganda, inviting them. But when we started this program, when we sent SMS, where they were collecting 20, in a day, 120 people were turning to collect their cars. 120. Even as I'm talking to you now, the same arrangement is going on with Yaga Africa and its action. We will be able to, we are already, we have already made every arrangement.
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about misplacement of PVC. There are those who have registered and then for some reason misplaced their PVC, or maybe the temporal, one that was issued to them.
Permanent one or temporary one?
It could be temporal, it could be permanent.
Yes.
So what do they do?
Let them come. Let them come and join a queue. In fact, we are opening in every collection point a helpline. It's going to be managed by some officers. They are going to be trained on how to help people solve their problems. So there's going to be a helpline to be created. Besides, all we need their names, their telephone number, their date of birth. Then we go into our portal, and then we'll be able to harvest their cards, and then we'll sort it out and give it to them. Okay,
so what about on election day, in the event where they are unable to now recover their PVC, what happens?
All this talking about PVC, we are talking about it before the election day.
Will they be able to vote if they don't recover it?
I'm answering you. All this arrangement that INEC is making for the D-Day, that is the day to cast your vote. If you don't have a PVC on that day, please stay at home, because you can't vote without a PVC.
But I told that the system has other options of maybe identifying your fingerprints or your facial expression.
Which system?
Wouldn't that verify you, the beavers? The beavers?
Yes.
If you thumbprint, yes. I thought that your thumbprint had been captured, and then your face had been captured as well.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be enough to identify and verify that you are actually registered in that very polling unit?
Honestly speaking, Mr. Ayuba, I am not aware of this technology in the beavers to capture you without you bringing your voter's card, where we are going to use it to identify either your face or fingerprint. I'm not aware of this technology. This is something, a new technology that maybe people are talking about, which I am not aware of. Despite the fact that I'm not an ICT staff, nevertheless, I don't think, we have developed a system whereby anybody can come without, simply because you underwent voter registration exercise, without a voter's card, a PVC, you'll be identified by the beavers, your facial and your thumbprint, and then you'll be able to vote. This has not come to my own knowledge yet.
Okay. All right. So one another question is:
yes,
can someone pick for another person? So can someone pick on behalf of others? Maybe a friend or a relation who is indisposed. Can the cards be picked on their behalf?
That was yesterday or the day before, not today. Before INEC was distributing the PVC, the permanent voters card, today, INEC is not distributing. We are doing an exercise of collection.
So it has to be
there is no proxy.
In person?
There will be no proxy collecting anybody's card at all. Everybody, in fact, people who came during the continued voter registration exercise, they came by themselves. You want to collect, you also come by yourself and collect your PVC.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us on Daily Politics and giving us this insight. We do appreciate it, and thank you for coming. Yaya Bello, FCT INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I will, like I said, I will provide this station, with all the details of our arrangements, which you can hold, which I cannot say, for example, in all this interview. Besides, we are holding a press conference. We intend to go out to reach the people of FCT. We are going to go out and make jingles and reach them in English, Hausa, Ibaji, Gwandala, and other languages, so that people will know exactly. We want this exercise to be seamless, but we want people to cooperate. If you take a stone and throw it at our gate, you are going to collect your PVC without even going to see, that is not going to be helpful. We have a press conference on Friday. Your staff can join us in our office here, so that there will be more information. They will bring more information, more, so that you go through it. And press, being our partner in this exercise, you are, the press is a very critical stakeholder. So, we can give you all the information, and we look forward to your cooperation. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Malaya Bello, FCT Resident Electoral Commissioner, for coming on Daily Politics. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Malaya.
All right. Now, we'll take a short breather, and then when we return, we'll take a look at other issues on the program. Join us again.
Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement, terrorism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dsspr@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
All right, thank you for staying with us. If you are just joining, this is Daily Politics on Trust TV. Do well to follow us, the conversation across all our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and also watch us live on YouTube. Now to other matters on the program. The presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, has promised not to fail Nigerians if elected to office come 2023. The presidential candidate who made the call during his campaign rally in Osogbo, the Osun state capital, stated that unlike the ruling All Progressives Congress, the PDP is more experienced and will deliver on its campaign promise to citizens.
So my brothers and sisters of Osun, I have come to say a very big thank you. And I urge you, I appeal to you, I plead with you to come out in greater numbers than you did in the last state election and vote PDP in the next general election. That is the only way you can secure your future and the future of your children. We promise you, we will not fail you. We are not like APC because we have done it before. We have got the experience. We have got the people who have the capacity to bring about changes. We are not new as far as governance is concerned in Nigeria. So, my fellow brothers and sisters and my in-laws, not before, not before. Are you going to vote for your in-law or not? Are you? Are you? Well, let me see your hands.
Well, there you have it, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, former President Atiku Abubakar. Now, the Congress of University Academics Konwa has said it will be suing the federal government for not paying its members their 8 months' salaries being withheld by the government. In a statement signed by top executives of the Congress, the body said it was disappointed that the government has refused to pay its members their dues, even though it was clear that they were not part of the strike that rocked public universities from February 14 to October 14 this year. Now, to discuss more on this, we are being joined by Comrade Emmanuel Oumbiko.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yes.
He is the former National Commissioner of the National Human Rights Commission and currently the National Coordinator of Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, Huriwa. Thank you so much for joining us on Daily Politics.
Thank you for having me, and thank you to Nigerians.
Well, quite a lot has been happening, so let's begin with the issue of the campaigns before we go into the issue of academic staff strikes that we are, seeing. What's your take on how far the campaigns have gone so far? Listening to all the candidates, their spokespersons, and all the discussions going on.
Well, thanks. Thank you very much. I think the campaigns from the so-called big parties, particularly the two dominant parties, and the third force, the Labour Party, and maybe some other smaller parties. But I want to concentrate on the campaigns by the PDP and APC. So far, the campaigns have been so disappointing. Shockingly, some of those presidential candidates, Atiku Abubakar just spoke on your program. Atiku Abubakar made a statement. I don't really know whether he was actually the one that said it, because I didn't watch it on TV, but it was written by a lot of journalists, my colleagues, and I trust our reporters, I trust our journalists. They said Atiku was asked a question if he will patronize Nigerian hospitals. He said there's no hospital in Nigeria that can take care of his medical needs. That is what somebody who wants Nigerians to vote for him as the president is telling them, that there will be no difference between him and the incumbent president, who has a very serious, can I call it, image problem, because he has spent more time in hospitals in London than he has spent in Abuja.
Oh, but we all know that there are challenges in Nigerian hospitals, isn't it? In our medical centers and in our medical institutions. We know that there are problems, right? And would it be fair if you insist that everyone seeking political office must be treated in Nigerian hospitals?
Everyone seeking political office in Nigeria that will be paid by the taxpayers must seek medical help here in Nigeria. If you are not ready to seek medical help in Nigeria, so many of us, I admit that I had the need to go to London for a medical matter with my own money that I worked for so long as a journalist to save. When I found out that the bill, that was when Nigerian hospitals were on strike. I was supposed to go for surgery. The medical bill in London was so much. The doctor in London referred me to Malaysia. And because I had the privilege of having the money, I went with my money to Malaysia and I had a major surgery. But the recommendation from the doctor says...
Would it be fair to say
no, I'm coming.
Because someone is a public servant?
The medical doctor in London told me that there is a specialist, that both of them were classmates, in Garki Hospital. Garki Hospital is here in Abuja. I came down to Garki Hospital. Garki Hospital gave a date, but it was much longer than what I expect. You understand? Garki Hospital was the only hospital that was working.
It's one thing to have the specialist.
No, let me come.
It's another to have the equipment.
Let me come to what I'm trying to say. If you have a medical condition that requires only a foreign doctor, then don't seek public office. If you must seek public office and you have a peculiar medical need that requires that a doctor should have the right kind of equipment in place, then you have to concentrate on the health sector and give panacea, suggest to Nigerians what you are going to do to fix the health sector in Nigeria. I have not even come to Tinubu, but Atiku shocked me by admitting to Nigerians that he will not patronize Nigerian hospitals. It's a disappointing, but that's even aside. Why I said Nigerians are disappointed with the campaign that is going on is because of the kind of verbal violence. A lot of those political parties, particularly PDP and APC, have fed Nigerians with a lot of insults and personal attacks, concentrating basically on the parents of presidential candidates. The other party will say, who is your mother? You don't even know your mother. You are accepted and that person as your mother. When your mother died, you didn't go for... They were accusing Tinubu of not attending his mother's burial.
This is not new.
And so many personal attacks.
This is not new to Nigerian politics, is it? There are people who live off these things, these controversies. It's not new to Nigerian politics, is it?
Yeah, you know, last time we were here, the question you asked me was about the pact, peace pact. The political parties are said to have signed that they are going to avoid election violence. Election violence is not only when you have armed thugs coming to snatch ballot boxes. Election violence starts from the campaign. When you violate and you pollute the public space with very violent languages, you understand? It should be classified as electoral violence. It's not when you send boys to go and hijack anything. You understand? Yeah. We were not used to this kind of dirty campaign. It was there maybe in the 60s, but...
But don't you think that journalists are also culprits in this? They sometimes are the ones that magnify some of these things, they sensationalize some of these things, and, you know, blow it out of proportion. Don't you think so?
You don't blame journalists, you blame the political campaigns. Most of these specialized interviews that are done by some of these television stations, I don't want to mention them, are commercialized. If PDP pays you money, 5 million for 30 minutes or 1 hour, that they're going to talk about their opponents. Well, there are accusations that are already on the public space that is not necessarily libelous. They will come there and begin to talk about the academic credentials of their rivals that are not verifiable. They will tell you, so and so person went to Chicago University, he couldn't tender his appropriate academic records. You understand? It's mere allegation. You can say that on TV. If the other person is so vexed, he can go to court. You understand? But the TV station has already collected their payment for commercial. Most of these political interviews, I don't know of Trust TV, but I know that this major, in parentheses, private television stations collect money from politicians for those kinds of programs because you see them frequently appearing on TV stations, annoying Nigerians, saying so many things that are not supposed to be said on TV. You understand? About their opponents. You begin to ask, why are these TV stations always inviting these kinds of people? First and foremost, most of the political parties appointed individuals that ought not to be the public face of those political parties. Individuals that have cases of EFCC in court. Individuals that probably won the election through violent means. Individuals that cannot account for the kind of wealth, opulence, they suddenly jump into.
But what you are
as
saying,
spokespersons of the major political party, APC and PDP particularly, are guilty of that.
All right.
The man that speaks for, one of the men that speak for Tinubu is facing a case of fraud by EFCC.
Okay.
Why should Tinubu appoint such a person as a spokesperson? And everybody's keeping quiet. And this guy keep bombarding Nigerians with a lot of things on TV, newspapers, and people are listening and watching. And this is a guy that the EFCC has dragged to court and said he has a case to answer, and you're making him the spokesperson of your party, and nobody said anything. And these television stations keep inviting these people because they are paid their commercial. So you don't blame journalists. You may blame the owners of those TV stations. Then how do you blame journalists for attitudes of some politicians who will hire 1 hour live interviews, and they go dancing? They have live band. They call themselves G5 or whatever. They keep dancing on the stage, abusing their own party candidate. You understand? Then inviting the chief judge of the country to come and make some kind of political statement. Are you going to blame journalists?
But you know, this is, like I said earlier, it's not new to Nigerian politics. These are some of the elements of the way politics is done in Nigeria since we know it, right? So, are you saying that? Are you surprised that these things are happening? And you know, has anything really changed to warrant the kind of expectations that you are having?
It has never happened this way. At least, even as a kid in secondary school, when Shagari became president, Shagari's first term, I didn't participate in the election. 1982 election, the one that I think Shagari was just inaugurated, was just elected before the military struck. I can't remember exactly what, but I know that I voted as a very little kid. That time I was already, I voted. You understand? So I followed the trajectories of elections that have happened in over how many years? About 30 years. There's never any time that major political parties have appointed spokespersons that have cases to answer in the court of law. Never. The PDP did not appoint somebody who has an EFCC case then into their political campaigns. The other party, there was no APC. APC just came, just a new party. APC, I don't think APC is up to 6 years.
All right, well,
so it's worse now.
Well,
it's worse.
Some of the things that have been trending since his outing in London, that's talking about the APC presidential candidate, at the Chatham House. A lot of people have been, giving their reactions to what transpired there. What's your own take?
My own take is that Tinubu's acceptance, I don't know if Chatham House discussions are paid. I don't know whether it's a commercial event. If it's not a commercial event, and Tinubu accepted to appear there, Tinubu has disrespected us, Nigerians. What is the difference between Chatham House and a Rice TV interview, or if Trust TV organizes a debate? What is the difference? Except if Chatham House, the event they do there.
But Chatham House, I mean, we are talking about a global platform here.
What is global? Is Nigeria not part of the globe?
An international platform.
It's not.
Here.
It's not. Chatham House is just like Institute of International Affairs. That's in Lagos, Victoria Island. It's just an institute of government, maybe a part of government, foreign affairs, an arm of the foreign affairs ministry. Are you saying that because it's located in London, so it has become globalized, that Tinubu has to accept?
No, I'm talking about a lot of foreign leaders are looking up to that outing. A lot of people who are out there, Nigerians in diaspora also,
it's not true.
Are also looking forward to his outing there.
It's not true. Chatham House, or whatever you call it, is just maybe a policy think tank. If they have international, global media coverages, it doesn't really tell that because some people are watching. How many people watched it?
But it's more like
how many people watched it?
I mean, but it's more like a tradition, that.
It's not a tradition for the US. It's not even a tradition for UK.
For politicians who are vying for political offices.
It's not.
Usually will go there for. And,
no, it's not. I've traveled to the UK more than in the last, except since COVID started. I've not traveled to UK, and I'm going to travel to UK soon. I'll be traveling to UK. Chatham House is not a major campaign platform of any politician in the UK.
It's not a campaign platform.
So
Nobody's saying it's a campaign platform.
Yes.
I mean, this is just a platform where you interact, where you engage with other stakeholders in this whole election.
How many times have you seen the Prime Minister of Britain in Chatham House? Or before the election, how many times do you see Prime Minister or don't they have elections in Britain? Don't they have election in Canada? Don't they have elections in the US? Don't they have elections in other parts of the world? Don't they have elections even in India? Don't they have elections even in South Africa? Don't they have elections even in Kenya? How many times have you seen those politicians go to Chatham House and neglect their own local, their own local dialogue sessions, like debates, public debates? So,
well, he has said that he considers himself as a product that is sellable, and he has refused to, avail himself for anyone to make money off him. That's his response to.
Nobody's making money off him. Nobody's making money off him. He put himself up for election. He has to appear and talk to Nigerians. If he doesn't want anybody to make money off him, then let him organize it. Let him, how do I put it now? Let him organize a random, let him go to the marketplace on his own. He doesn't have to.
But he has been doing that.
He has not been doing that.
He has been going for town hall meetings.
He has been attending
the rest of them.
paid events, attended by hired goons, people that are paid and fed.
I mean, we've had professional bodies invite him to give addresses.
Where, in Lagos or where?
I mean, we've had several events where he was, in the north, in Kaduna, for instance, you had the Arewa group that invited him for, a dialogue, kind of a one-on-one.
Why has he neglected the media? Does he not have TVC? Why can't he appear on TVC political debate if he does not want Arise TV to make money off him? And by the way, how do they make money off him? By watching Arise TV's this thing? Is it the subscription? I don't understand how he said people will make money off him. How would they make money off him? Is it by watching Arise TV that you already have on DSTV that you already paid for long before this election campaign started? To people didn't make sense by saying he didn't want anybody, he doesn't want anybody to make money off him. Nobody will make any money off him if he appears for public debate and tell Nigerians face to face what he has to give to Nigerians. And by the way, his appearance on Chatham House, whatever you call it in London, is a mess. Okay. Total mess.
All right.
Because he has had to read from a copy. When they asked him how old he is, you see, somebody had to give him a paper to tell him how old he is. Do you need somebody to tell you when your mother got back to you?
All right. Well, let's put that aside. Those are your reactions and your opinions, which are entirely yours. Now, let's move on to other stories. We are now seeing that the Congress of University Academics, CONUA, is threatening to sue the federal government over the non-payment of salaries. This is a body or an organization that at the initial stage, a lot of people were like, oh, which is CONUA? And people were thinking, is this a body that was set up, in kind of collusion, by the federal government of some sort? Those are the kind of expectations. And now this is happening. What do you think of this?
Let me tell you, CONUA, whatever you call them, are saboteurs. They are saboteurs in the system, in the university system. Lecturers, everybody knows that lecturers in the universities have a single platform called Academic Staff Union University. You didn't set up CONUA in 1980. You didn't set up CONUA in 1990. You didn't set up CONUA even in 2000. You waited until there was a stalemate between government and ASU. You now went behind and negotiated with the Minister of Labour to register you as a trade union against the law, extant law. This law does not allow the government to register similar organizations that represent almost similar interests in the same place. It's like government going to register. We have Human Rights Association of Nigeria that is registered by CAC. You now go and register something that is quite close to that. It's not possible.
How is it against the law? How is
no,
it against the law?
There's a provision in CAC Act that says
you have
nobody. Okay, let me tell you.
ASU, you have SANU, you have NASU, you have all of these tertiary institution, organizations, and associations.
They're not representing the academia. They're representing which one did you call it? If you call the other one, they're representing maybe non-academic staff. They're not representing the academia. So what I'm saying is that nobody wants. I don't even know. Well, thank God I'm not a journalist. I'm no longer a practicing. If I'm an editor of a major newspaper, I will not put their story. Maybe I'll put their story on page 70. They're not worth any mention on a major news page. You're saboteurs. What are you talking about? Go on strike if you want to go on strike, for crying out loud. You sabotage the effort other lecturers were trying to make to get the government to comply, and you went behind and got a certificate. Go and eat your certificate. Why are you stopping us? I want to sue government. The same government that registered you illegally.
So you think there is no justification for this?
They are crying wolf. They should go to hell. I'm sorry to use that language.
Well, this is TV, so we have to be mindful of our words, you know.
They're not supposed to tell, there's no justification whatsoever for that thing you call Kono or whatever you call it, to tell anybody that they want to go on strike. If you want to go on strike, why did you not at least allow ASU and the federal government to even resolve their matter before you, okay, if you didn't go on strike, which school who were you teaching in the school? No, let's just even ask question. Journalists, they give you a statement and you just write in the newspaper. You ask the guy who sent that statement, tell us which school. It's not all these university students. I have a lot of university students though I don't have a child that's in university now, but I have a lot of university students that are my nieces, nephews. They are all at home. So were you teaching ghosts in the universities?
All right.
So why are you going to tell us lies? And the newspapers are writing this and are giving them credibility. It is wrong. You know exactly what you said. The journalists sometimes may be blamed for some of these things. This kind of cases, if it's in London, the journalists will ask them, this press release they are putting up, which university? We are not on strike.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because of time, we cannot proceed from here. Thank you for your perspectives and your insights on some of the stories that we have highlighted here on the program. We look forward to having you again on the program.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Emmanuel Onwubiko is the National Coordinator on Human Rights Writers, as National Coordinator, yes, of the Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, Huriwa. He joins us here in the studio. Well, that's our show for today. In case you have missed, you can always catch up across all our social media platforms and also watch us live on YouTube. My name is Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.